Well, it's noon here on Bronco Mountain in Bethesda, Maryland, and this is news that you can use from YAA with your hosts, Zach and Ray. And apparently, Amtrak was able to get Zach safely back home.
All right, here is the deal, Pops. We're going to kick today's show off with the news over at Wells Fargo, and it is bad. Bad is an understatement. It is truly horrendous what we are going to cover going on at Wells Fargo. Not only is it auto finance related, but it is just consumer finance in general. $3.7 billion going back to folks, all about issues that Wells Fargo had with their tech. Can't wait to get your take on that. We also, Dad, we have an update from our friends over at Black Book on the used car market side of things. We also have a Kia dealership that was taking advantage of customers and they got caught. We'll talk about that
and the owner was a top 40 under 40 person in the automotive industry, according to Automotive News.
Come on, man. Nepotism is peak in the auto industry. Can't you get me in to be a 40 under 40? Like we
could.
We got to work on that. All right, Dad, let's start here. I'm going to actually kick things off first. I want to set the precedent, which is that Wells Fargo has paid over $22 billion in penalties since the year 2000.
That's billion. That's over $1 billion a year.
$22 billion in penalties to the CFPB and other groups for financial offenses, consumer protection related offenses, competition related offenses, government contracting related offenses. Only $1 billion too there, and employment related offenses just coming in at a paltry $904 million. Dad, what happened here? We'll go first to auto finance news. $1.3 billion settlement just with the CFPB over auto loans. Now, what happened, Dad, is we're going to pull that up right here. The CFPB's order states that Wells Fargo's auto loan servicing systems experienced a number of failures. That's in quotes, folks. That resulted in incorrectly applying borrowers' payments and charging inaccurate fees and interest, as well as vehicle repossessions tied to servicing issues dating to at least 2011.
Oh, so that's just 12 years.
The order also says the bank did not properly grant warranted refunds to borrowers who had paid upfront fees to auto dealers and had, quote, failures related to processing guaranteed asset protection refunds. There's an additional $2.4 billion, tied up in mortgage related things, credit card related things. Pops, would you ever do business with with Wells Fargo after hearing this news?
Well, after hearing this news, no. I would put them in the same bucket as I would put Ford at the moment. But here's the sad reality of the Wells Fargo.
Yeah, let's hear it.
There was the scandal, 8-10 years ago, where Wells Fargo employees could earn bonuses if Wells Fargo customers signed up for products other than just the one they might have signed up for. So in order to push it, to get their bonuses, their managers pushed them to push their customers. And what resulted was, the employees just created bogus accounts in customers' names so that they could hit their bonus levels. That speaks entirely to a culture issue. That stems, starts way up here on the screen at the very, very top. And then that person at the very, very top, that gentleman who was at the very, very top, he gets questioned and scolded when he appears before a Senate hearing or a congressional hearing. Okay. And nothing happens to him.
To the individual.
To him or her, other than he has to take a public beating from our political leaders because, he's just been, overseeing a company that's taking advantage of customers at every opportunity. And I swear we'll do better. Okay. And then they don't do better. And then they get fined more billions of dollars. And this will go on forever until we start putting some of these people where they belong, which is behind bars. Because if they are overseeing this year after year after year, okay, it's not negligence, it's criminal.
I mean, I agree with you, Dad. There were, to pull it back to what the CFPB put out, to put into perspective here. Unlawfully repossessed vehicles and bungled borrower accounts. Wells Fargo had systematic failures in its servicing of automobile loans that resulted in $1.3 billion in harm across more than 11 million accounts. The bank incorrectly applied borrowers' payments, improperly charged fees and interest, and wrongfully repossessed borrowers' vehicles. I want to hit on a few things here. One is that
Yes.
if you are another financial institution that does auto loans right now,
Yes.
it's a wake-up call. Today is a wake-up call. It is, okay, all those automated systems, those hundreds of software engineers that we hire, okay, is everything tight? It is a wake-up call for the auto industry this morning. The CFBP, this is one of the biggest settlements we've ever seen. The other piece to this puzzle, Dad, is, and I hear you, you're harping on the executives at these companies. I'm harping on the fact that imagine your vehicle got wrongfully repossessed, and now you can't get to work. And maybe you're out of a job because of that. The impacts of these things to 11 million people.
But the people that perpetrate this, nothing happens to them.
Yep.
A little public flogging, okay, nasty words about your incompetence, words that, okay, we promise to try and do better.
Yeah.
Okay, people lose their cars, people lose their jobs, people's lives are upended and ruined. And the people that are responsible for it still have their jobs. They're big-time executives in big-time companies making big-time dollars.
I see what you did there.
Big-time stuff. Okay, so they're making huge paydays, and nothing ever happens to them. Here's a question for you. Why does Wells Fargo even have a license to be in the banking industry any longer if they've paid $22 billion in fines over the last 20 years?
I entirely agree with you. We're going to give you another show that is like Ray's take on all things finance. Let's bring this back to auto for a second, which is, if you are out there, end of year, a lot of people about to be buying cars, all that fun stuff. Go get that pre-approval from your credit union. And when the dealership says, hey, we got you approved through Wells Fargo, say, you know what, I'd rather go with my credit union, or can you get me with someone else?
Yes.
Or even when they go to shotgun your credit or get you loan options, just say no to Wells Fargo. Okay.
Yes.
That is the too long didn't read of this segment of today's show is avoid Wells Fargo. Do not do business with them. $22 billion over the past 22 years.
But I
hear you.
I'm going to harp on it. These people need to be criminally charged.
Okay.
I don't want to. No.
This is a platform for our business.
I'm sorry. This is bigger than our business.
Yeah.
Okay. The reality is that people get taken advantage of every day in this country. And in a lot of cases, they get taken advantage of every day by the same major players in the United States. Wells Fargo goes back years and years and years and years. Ford, with their quality control issues, goes back years and years and years and years. Okay, the same people get to keep screwing the American consumers. And if all those businesses ever have to do to be held accountable is to pay a fine, why would they ever change their behavior? If the players, if the executives at these corporations,
I get it, man. I get it.
Okay, so it's time for the Department of Justice to do something. Take some of these people, criminally charge them, make them spend their money on defense funds as opposed to just paying fines, and then they will and which allows them to continue the same behavior that they have displayed for the past 20 years. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of seeing the same crap over and over and over again because we don't use the criminal justice system to its full extent when it comes to players like this.
Can we move on?
Well, yeah, unless I become a billionaire, and then I'll change my tune.
Oh man! All right, Pops. You owe Ford an apology. Ford is at least not like Wells Fargo. They admit their issues. Their CEO comes out and at least says, "Hey, we got multiple years worth of quality control."
Sorry, Ford. Yeah.
The million. Thanks for the contribution. Have a Merry Christmas. Use this for the heat bill so Ray doesn't freeze to death. Unfortunately, Saturday nights they just don't put the heat on. Doesn't matter what we pay. There's no heat on Saturday nights, so. We'll stick with that. Igor, thanks for being here. I'm at my old BMW dealership as we speak, and they're rolling, just like my old Mercedes and Porsche and Audi stores are. The push for the year end is already in place. Keeping that in mind, we do have a 50% off promo, gift 50 and gift 150 for $150 off the extended warranty back at joinyaa.com. let's look at the Black Book data. Let's turn our attention here. We are starting to see some disparities in the data. What I mean by that is Black Book came out this most recent week, and they hit us with a 0.82% decline in wholesale values week over week at the auctions. Now, if I open up Cox really quick. Don't panic, loan defaults. We'll come back to that. I want to come here. Cox has a headline that reads, wholesale used vehicle prices see increase in first half of December. So for those of you that play along at home and like to track this, any dot on this chart shows, below the red line, shows week over week depreciation, decline in wholesale values of vehicles. We have not seen since June, maybe even the month before that, May or June, we have not seen week over week wholesale values of used cars increase. However, we now have Cox Automotive, which owns Manheim, saying that used car values are increasing. I don't believe this for a minute. What do you think?
Well, the difference is that a lot of what you see from Cox is derived entirely from Manheim.
Of course, yeah.
Okay. And as we had it explained to us just last week, there are about 22 million vehicles on the wholesale level that are offered up for sale every year. About 10 million of those actually sell. 5.5 million of that 10 million sell through Cox Manheim auctions, and that's all they use for their data set. Whereas one of their competitors, who we deal with, they are able to utilize information from about 95% of all the wholesale transactions, so that they actually gather much more information. And so I would think their data set would be a little more realistic with what's truly happening in the market today.
So Black Book is showing that we actually have continued depreciation of wholesale used car values, which we're seeing reflected in trade-in values, cash offers, the whole 9 yards there. And this ultimately should continue to mean more negotiability on used vehicles here at the end of the year. The thing that I found super interesting in the Black Book data, Pops, is going to be the sales rate. So vehicles at the sale, down to 46% of them actually transacting when they go at the auction. That is insane. That is insanely low. That's where we are. We haven't been there since we were coming out of the beginnings of the COVID-19 pandemic, all the way back in April 2020. Okay, so it's been a long time. So we are seeing fewer and fewer vehicles actually get sold.
And you know, those dealers that were buying up those cars in April of 2020, they made a killing.
Of course they did. Yeah, they absolutely did. All right, let's switch gears, and we're actually going to do a relatively early transition here, Pops. We've got a couple fun things to hit on, so give me 1 second.
The good folks here will give you all the time you need. Really? You gotta be kidding.
I really hope that played. If it didn't, then it looks kind of
then we really look like idiots.
More than normal. All right, Dad, we had this story pop up in automotive news. We have a dealership, a Kia dealer. $1.25 million settlement, because this is what we love to do in America. We love settlements. Deceptive practices. What the heck happened here? Why is this really? You got to be kidding me.
Well, these guys sold people on this rehabilitate your credit program for people who had somewhat iffy credit, who said, gee, we really can't afford this. We can't afford this loan. Well, they were sold a bill of goods that, well, you can enter into our credit program. And you make payments for 6 months, and then we'll be able to get you refinanced at a lower rate. There was no program. That was a crock of poop. Okay, as they say. They also gave misinformation to the banks in regards to what some of these people earned in order to get them approved. And in one case, they actually were kind enough and gracious enough to forge the customer's name on a bank contract that included products that the customer had turned down.
And again, you mentioned it earlier before this segment. Dan O'Brien, president of the dealership, was an Automotive News 40 Under 40 award winner in 2018 at age 33. That is quite the undermining to that 40 under 40 approach.
Yeah.
What? Are you kidding me? Really, you've got to be kidding me.
Yeah, really. We don't vet any of those people. Yeah. So there you have it. There's a guy who oversees a dealership they participated in a lot of fraud.
And this was between 2019 and 2021.
Yes.
Okay, so it's relatively recent.
Yeah. Now, and just after he was awarded the 40 under 40 award.
Pretty incredible stuff.
Yes.
All right, Dad. Now we've got another one.
Yeah.
And we're gonna play the sound bit for it because it's kind of nice.
Yeah. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Really? You gotta be kidding.
I don't know if you saw this one, Pops.
I did.
GM recalls 140,000 Chevy Bolt EVs over fire risk. This is a new recall for those of you playing along at home. GM said the recall covers various 2017 through 2023 model year Chevrolet Bolts due to a rare instance of front seatbelt pretension or exhaust gases coming into contact with floor carpeting fibers after a vehicle crash. I think it's on your Instagram. Maybe it's on my Instagram. Maybe it's on the YAA Instagram. We have that photo from Baltimore Washington International Airport going into a parking garage. It literally says you cannot park Chevy Bolts in it. This is now another fire related.
But the reason for this one is completely different than the first one. This is not, hey, this car is prone to a fire because there's an issue with the battery chemicals. Okay, this is that if you were to get into an accident, there's a pretensioner on your seatbelt that senses when you're getting into that accident, and it causes a minor explosion so that the seatbelt will lock and hold you in place. But yet the gases from that, if they mix with the fibers from the carpet in the vehicle, could cause a fire. So if the accident itself didn't kill you, the fire very well could. And there's going to be a recall. What do? Do you change the pretensioners or do you change the carpet in the vehicles? And how could carpet is chemical fibers.
I don't know anything about carpet.
How did they never figure out that the chemicals in the carpet, if they interact with the gases from the pretensioner, and might the same thing happen if it was an airbag, the gases from
another Chevy Bolt recall. We needed to bring it up. Now, Dad, there's one more.
Yeah.
We're doing 3 today. You ready for this?
Oh my gosh. Really? You gotta be kidding.
This is what happens when I'm not here for 2 days of the show. I'm not sure if you got to see this one. An Iowa mechanic has to pay $7.2 million after allegedly scamming repairs on classic cars.
Well, I can say I have not seen this one.
This one's good, Dad.
Yeah.
Looks like you can't trust all mechanics.
Okay.
Especially when you're the millionaire owner of a rare car collection. The Des Moines Register reports that an Iowa mechanic has been ordered to pay over $7 million after he scammed the former CEO of Angie's List on both repairs and classic car purchases.
Apparently, Angie's List doesn't vet the people they recommend.
Well,
because my guess is he was probably a recommended mechanic, but Angie's, it's just a guess. I don't know for a fact, but why else would Angie use them?
So I had this on Really Gotta Be Kidding Me because it's like pretty crappy what happened. And it's pretty funny. I mean, hopefully he gets his money back, obviously. You just hit the nail on the head. It's the CEO of Angie's List, a site to recommend service providers.
Yes.
That was funny. That was good. All right, let's keep reading, Dad.
Yeah.
The scamming began way back in 2010. Craig Hillinger was the owner of Healy Works Corporation in Lawton, Iowa. Former Angie's List CEO Bill took his 1967 Maserati Ghibli to the shop for restoration. According to the suit, Hillinger quoted Osterley a timetable of 1 to 2 years to complete the work for a price tag of no more than $200,000, except that's not what happened. 4 years later, he got hit with $1 million invoice. There's more.
Sounds like the people that are doing my kitchen remodel. The amount of time it's taken.
Hillinger told Bill the 100M would cost approximately $10,000 to assemble and sent Bill an invoice for $130,000. It just goes on and on, Dad. We have this mechanic who got a little out over his bridges, now ordered to pay back $7 million.
But the first question is, why would anybody agree in the first place to pay a couple $100,000 to restore a Maserati Ghibli? I mean,
1967 luxury,
and I'm telling you, he probably got the recommendation for this mechanic directly from Angie's List.
Could have been. Yeah. Hey, I've got two things. We've got John here in the chat asking, are we doing a Saturday night Christmas stream? I'd like to. Laura's out of town. What are you doing Saturday night?
I'm going to be sitting here freezing my tuckus off.
Cool. Yeah, we're doing a Saturday night stream,
and we're giving stuff away.
Oh yeah, we do got to figure that
out. Yeah, we're giving. I mean, we got a ton of shirts back.
We got to give away
that have my face on them.
Yeah, we'll do a giveaway Saturday night over on the main channel. I've got a question. I've got two things. One, some of you may have seen I did some kind of secretive polls. We are doing a Car Edge logo contest right now, so I'll pull it up on the screen. This I'm going to reload the page. This one right here.
Yes.
Buying away is the one that the community likes the most.
Yes.
So we're probably going to give some suggestions in the chat. Like, I think it's maybe a little thick.
I like the look of it, but I think the steering wheel
is a little
thick. It needs to be just a tad thinner.
It's too much of like that's like a BMW type thickness. We need more of like a Hyundai Sonata.
That's more like a big wheels thickness, I think.
All right, so that's one. We had this other one that we're not going with. This is kind of similar. It's got like the navigation icon because where your navigator, Car Edge is your navigator to help you. Like that's the idea there. This one similar, but people don't like that one as much. My favorite that no one likes, which I was offended by, but
sorry,
no one likes.
I think I told you the same thing that I didn't like.
I like it anyway. We're not going to go with that one. So Car Edge logo in the works.
Yes.
Definitely open to feedback from those of you who are here on the stream with us. What should we do to make this even better is my ask of everyone that's here on the stream. What should we do on this one to make it even better? What do you think? Or if you have suggestions.
I do like it. It's just the steering wheel's a little thick.
Yeah, the steering wheel I think is just a little thick.
So it needs to, we need to put it on a lathe and thin it out a little bit.
And here we go. And I hear you, Kimberly. Not my. I don't know which one you're referring to, but I learned so much about our team. I learned so much about our community. We're just gonna go with the one that most people like. That's easiest. Jay, welcome. I'm not gonna drop it in the chat. I actually took it down recently because we see the consensus. We've seen the consensus get built. Car Edge site. John Wilson is the Car Edge site up. It is part of it. We're actually going to do the transition next month. So stay tuned. We're working on some things there. And I have a question for you, Dad, and I have a question for everyone in the chat. So we have we're running the promotion right now. It's 50% off.
Yeah, gift 50.
Gift 50.
Yeah.
And that gets you, just so that everyone understands, because I've got an idea, but I need to get feedback on it. And you guys know how I operate. I just kind of like Kimberly, Ashley, this will be news for you. Thank you, by the way, Kimberly, Ashley, Jerry, Justice, Mario, and Phil.
Yes.
We did, what was it, like 100 chats on Monday? It was like the busiest day we've ever had. Those guys really, really crushed it. Okay, so you know how we're doing Gift 50, so the YA Plus membership.
Yes.
I'm looking for feedback. I'm not looking to sell. I'm looking for feedback. It's usually $120 a year. Right now we're doing 50% off, so it's $60 a year. So we can afford this at $60 a year.
Yeah.
And that gets you access to our team. So if you got questions about car stuff, we can answer it. Of course, if you have questions about buying a car, it gets you the discounts on maintenance and repairs. Pep Boys at Mikey, the mom and pop shops, and the interface so that you can actually read reviews, compare estimates. You can do that all online. I'm not logged in or else I pull it up. It gets you Deal School 3.0, and it gets you everything else. It gets you the coach, the trade-in stuff with Black Book, the market price reports, the email templates. Is there a world where if that wasn't $120 a year or $60 a year, if that was like, I don't know, $5 a month, like would people actually sign up for that for the maintenance and repair discounts in the interface? So that's my question to the chat is what's the price point and what do we need to put in it to make it something that people want to actually pay for on an ongoing basis? Maintenance and repairs, that's an obvious one. Is it discounts on like tire? I don't know, like, help. Pops.
Discounts on paintless dent repair, perhaps. Discounts on car washes, things of that nature.
Yeah,
perhaps. Discounts on alloy wheel repair for when people scuff their alloy wheels and you want to get them repaired. If we can partner with somebody nationally that we can get discounts for our members, I think those type of things.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll keep working on it. I'm interested to hear thoughts. Unfortunately, we cannot do a bunch of 15-minute consults for free. I actually have been dropping the ball recently on like a lot of important conversations because I don't have the time. Pops is active over on the community forum. He helps people out over there. And obviously in the YouTube comments, I see you respond to tons of folks on the YouTube comments. So, and awesome. Let's read this from Chris. Can vouch for the YA community in live chat. If it weren't for Ray and Zach's video, Space and Justice, I may not have my 2022 Mazda CX-30 Premium or paid the price I paid. Love it. Absolutely love it. Yeah. Discounts on detailing services, car wash discounts. Yeah. Okay. This is super helpful, guys. I'll continue to work
tire
on it.
and wheel.
I know, Chris, $60 a year is about $5 per month, but I feel like it's different. I don't know. Maybe it's not different. I feel like people are more interested in spending $5 a month than $60 a year. But if they're not, you hear me out here. If someone, hear me out.
I'm going to listen and I'll give you my counterpoint.
If someone pays $60 a year.
Yeah.
Okay. And then it comes to renew a year later, and they've never used it, they're going to cancel it. If they're paying $5 a month, and after 2 months they haven't used it, they're going to cancel it. I want to know sooner if they're going to cancel it because I want to be able to actually provide value to them.
But why would you give people so much value for $5 a month?
Because I want them to never leave. How do I get people to never leave us?
Keep building it out so that you keep adding value all the time to it. There's value in what you offer right now at $120 a year.
Donald's got an interesting idea.
Okay, well, so there's value in what you offer right now.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean that we're not looking for additional values to be able to build into it moving forward. So if you keep adding things, paintless dent repair, alloy wheel repair, what were some of the other things? Car washes, detail, discounts for those type of things. If you keep adding value to it as you go on, why wouldn't somebody
I
want to renew? And if they don't get any value out of it for having spent $60 for a year, well, I don't know, they're doing something wrong, number one, if they haven't got any value out of it, because it's one of the few things. No, but if I remember correctly,
I agree with this.
Help me with this if I remember correctly, and maybe I don't. But if you are a YAA Plus member, and then you need to avail yourself of, say, purchasing a vehicle service contract, as a YAA Plus member, you get a discount off of the price that a non-YAA Plus member, and that discount is what, $100? $120. So that discount is...
No, I hear you, Pops, but you only buy a vehicle service contract once every 5 years.
Well, unless you buy more than one car over this year, next year. But
I'm trying to be...
I understand, but my point is that if you're somebody that's going to buy a vehicle service contract, why wouldn't
you buy the vehicles, buy the membership, buy the vehicle service contract, and cancel the membership?
You could, although they might see enough value if they continue to use it rather than cancel it.
I know that's the question I'm asking the community for help with. I don't have the answer. I'm asking the community.
I think as long as you continue to add value propositions to what you get,
I agree with you,
that they will continue to renew.
Speaking of which, thanks guys. By the way, this is like business planning in public. So if you're a competitor of ours, feel free to tune into our streams. But we really do, like, the whole reason that we're here is because of the community that has supported us to build the products and tell us, like, remember when we didn't have financing with the credit unions?
Yes.
Everyone was saying, can you help us with financing? Okay, well then we got it. So we're trying. The thing I was going to bring up, I talked to Phil this morning, and Ashley and Kimberly, if you're on here, I'm sure he'll talk to you about this soon. I brought it back up to him. I was like, we should think about it next year, offering the broker service again. There's some variation of that, some variation where, and I want reaction and feedback from the chat about this as well. Like, you pay, it'll have to be more than $500, but it's like you pay and we line up the entire car deal for you, and that's it. I think we should find a way to offer that again next year, Dad, because when you and I did it 2.5, 3 years ago, remember that?
Yeah, you nearly killed me.
I nearly killed you.
I remember that. Yeah,
it was so hard, but we've learned so much.
Yes,
so much. I think I don't know. I'm curious to see if there's a reaction.
I believe that there are people out there that want it to be just a broker type service where they want to pay a one-time fee to have somebody other than them have to go make all the arrangements for their new car.
Mm-hmm.
And then but I think that's a smaller subset of people than those who would actually want to learn how to do it on their own, or with the assistance of our community, or with the assistance of our car coaches, so that they can save money when they buy a car. But they're the ones actually navigating the process.
And I agree with you. However, Dad, I think we at present attract more of an audience that wants to do it themselves, and we don't attract an audience that wants someone to do it for them. And think about the business that we've built, guys. We now have auto insurance. We now have the extended warranty. We have the finance. Like, we can bring a more complete solution. Like, let's say someone comes to us. Like, imagine your daughter who is thinking about next year buying a Toyota.
Who said next year?
She's thinking about this year, end of year, buying a Toyota RAV4.
Yes.
Hybrid at MSRP, folks. All right, right? So she's thinking about that.
Yes.
She comes to you and she says, okay, I will pay $500 for you to get the deal for me. Get it done. You can then also go to her and say, oh, fill out this application and you have your financing lined up through the credit union. Mm-hmm. Oh, fill out this application and you know that your auto insurance is going to be this much. Oh, fill out this form or I can just tell you, here's what the extended warranty would be. Here's what the expected cost to own this vehicle is. Like, we have all of that. And I think for Dara, my sister, your daughter, that'd be hugely valuable. And right now she might not even see any of that value because she'll just see, oh, it's $60 to become a YAA member or Car Edge member and like use live chat. I bet you someone like Dara never looks at that $60 one. She's like, no, you know what? No. But if she had the option to
she never would, only because she relies on you and I, and she's,
you know what I'm saying.
Yes, no, I understand.
This is awesome, by the way. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for your thoughts in here. And you know what, Dad? Look, there's oh, and that's another thing I'm thinking about on the insurance side is if we could offer, I want feedback on this. Thank you, everyone, by the way, for giving feedback in this type of way. What if we had on our insurance, if we could proactively shop your insurance for you, auto home renters, and if we can save you money for the same coverage, we split it. So you don't pay for the service. We split the savings. I think it's a no-brainer, but I'm curious what everyone does. So
if the savings is $60,
we get 30, you get 30.
You save 30.
Yep.
If the savings is as in one case for one of
$2,200,
we'd get $1,100, you'd save $1,100.
Yep, and it's just a free part
and we would automatically shop all those for you.
Yeah, we would do it for you. Yeah.
Yes. Before renewal time. Yeah, that's a no-brainer.
Thank you. I think
that's a no-brainer.
I think I've had some ideas
and
recently.
That would be an additional added value.
Yeah, absolutely.
For why somebody would want to keep their membership intact.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, I've got to, after today's show, I'm just going to read the chat.
Yeah.
So thank you, everyone. And if you are a competitor of ours, stop watching. Stop it. Please. Right?
Yeah.
Please work some business.
Yeah. Go find a different business.
Okay, cool. Why don't we call it a show, Pops?
Okay.
We will be back tomorrow.
I do believe
we'll be back Friday.
Yeah.
We'll be back Saturday
night. Yeah. But we'll definitely be back tomorrow at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific. We're right around noon Eastern, 9 Pacific, with more news that you can use from YAA. So thanks for being here today. Thanks for participating. And we look forward to seeing you all back here tomorrow. Have a great day, everybody.
See? And Sylvia, to be honest, I've watched all your videos, but at the dealership, it doesn't play out. They give me a price I don't like. Then crickets, don't know what to say. Like, how great for Sylvia to just pay us $500 and we just do it. I'm just saying, man.
No, you put together a team to do that. I don't want to have anything to do with that again. You nearly killed me 2.5 years ago. So
see you guys.